The other day, I sat down, I did an entire video, and when I went to edit it that night, because I take a lot of editing, I was completely out of frame. I was completely out of focus, wildly out of focus. Like, literally, this picture in the background was perfectly focused, and I was this beige blob talking. Earlier today, recording this video, I did a wonderful job. I said everything that I needed to say. I felt impassioned, I felt driven, and I had forgot to press record. I think one of the first ones I ever did, one of the first morning prayer services that I ever did, my family sitting on our daybed, reading the prayers, reading through the book, reading the scripture. I forgot to turn the microphone on. Amor fati. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. My name is Ed Trevors. I'm an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. I serve in the amazing town of Shelburne in the parish of Christ Church Shelburne in Nova Scotia. And today I want to talk about loving what comes your way. Recently, I have began reading some books on Stoicism and reading a little bit of Marcus Aurelius and watching some videos on YouTube. YouTube's awesome. One of the things in Stoicism is this phrase amor fati, and my understanding is it translates to loving fate. Loving what is, loving what comes your way. No matter what it is that comes your way, embracing it, loving it, reframing it, and allowing it to be redeemed. And that's where my Christian theology and this new learning of mine comes directly, they overlap. I believe that God is many, many, many things. I believe God is everything. And one of the things that I truly love about God is that God seems to be able to have a way of taking the worst possible situation, flipping it around and redeeming it into something wonderful and perfect and mystical and life-giving. I mean, we just celebrated Easter a couple of weeks ago. Well, when Jesus was crucified, you can't tell me that those 12 disciples thought, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly where we want to be. It wasn't. They ended up hiding in the upper chamber of a home. They thought they would be next. They thought their arrest warrants were being issued, that they would be the next to be nailed on the cross. It was not a time of celebration and wonder. The celebration and wonder came 3 days later when Jesus was resurrected. And then all of a sudden we've seen the power. We've seen the power in Jesus' words all throughout the Gospels where he said, I would be lifted up. The Son of Man would be lifted up. And what that truly meant. Through his death, through his resurrection, we have the remission of sin. Death is conquered. We are perfectly liberated through him who died for us. God took this horrible, horrible moment and he made it into something that gave life to the world. Amor fati. And I gave you a bunch of examples about some really, I don't want to call it bad luck, but maybe inattention to detail on my part, mistakes on my part, errors on my part, you decide. But I goofed up on many, many occasions doing these videos. And I've learned because of them. Like, don't get me wrong, it really, at first, it really annoys you when you realize you didn't press record. It really annoys you when something goes wrong. But if you're smart, and if your heart's open to it, you can embrace that moment and realize that, wait a second, I can learn something here. So, when I was completely out of focus, I actually learned about things called aperture, ISO, I still don't really know what that means. I learned about depth of field. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good thing or not. I got a buddy out there, Rob. Hey, Rob, who is continuously preaching lighting, lighting, lighting. He gave me this lighting course. I took the lighting course. I watched a couple of other videos, and my lighting went from being this orange pumpkinish monster to being a fairly well lit looking monster. If I didn't make those mistakes, I never would have learned. But I learn because of my mistakes. So yeah, it cost me 20 minutes. It cost me 15 minutes. It cost me a half hour. It cost me a day. Whatever the case might be, amor fati. God's going to redeem this if I let him. God's going to show me another perspective to see this moment from if I let him. God is going to offer me an opportunity to turn this event on its head so that I can see how I can grow through it if I let him. And the same is true for you. We can look at any situation we're in. If we have our hearts in the right place, if we have our minds open, if our eyes are clear, if we're listening to what God's whispering in our ears, then no matter what comes our way, we have the opportunity to shift it, to turn it, to flip it, and to grow from it. This is going to make me a better person. This is going to make me a better preacher. This is going to make me more compassionate when others make mistakes. This is going to make me more attentive to the little details that I have to get right. That's all I have for you today. But if you would, in the comments below, let me know how God has redeemed a moment for you by allowing it to be a time of personal growth and transformation. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God make his face to shine upon you. May you know the peace that only comes from his presence. Amen. Thank you, everybody, for spending this time with me. Thank you for choosing to be here today. I pray God's blessings will be upon you. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button down below. If you'd like more of our content, hit subscribe. If there's something that you want us to talk about, if there's something you want to make mention, please feel free to leave a comment. I will be praying for you. Please say a prayer for me. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.